English John. A lady who clearly doesn't need much of an introduction for this this group, Robin Riebman.
I made him bring my water so I wouldn't spill it. Because I'm so excited to see everybody here, and I'm really excited to sit down because in the back I had to stand up. I am a sit-down comedian. My name is Robin Riebman. I sit down for a couple reasons. One is my feet hurt. The other is I'm 60 years old. English John didn't think I would admit it, but it was on the cover of the Daily Herald today. So I can't exactly hide it anymore. The cover of the Herald says, "New career at 60. Prospect Heights woman tries the funny business." So it was very, and I have a really big story on the back. So my husband recycled the front. He didn't even know I was on there. And I was like, just threw me out my picture. Okay, so I do need to, hold on 1 second. Gotta get organized here. I can't afford a crew. So I gotta do this. Okay, so welcome everybody. I heard English John mention Groundhog Day. It is Groundhog Day. I have new respect for groundhogs. I did a little research. Did you know groundhogs can eat 1/3 of their body weight? Think about that. Everybody do the math for a second. I would love that. All the time. Yeah, you just have to find a place. And the groundhogs eat it. Oh, I sat on the mic. Now you know what that sounds like. It wasn't even a whoopee cushion. I just sat on the mic. Okay. See, I don't really need a mic because I'm loud. Everybody, you started laughing with English John. That was great. I heard my friend Cindy. She's a great laugher. And everybody can practice. What, Jeff?
I heard her and Morton Grohl.
There you go. There you go. Everybody can practice their laughing. Let's hear your biggest, loudest laugh. Oh, man, am I good? That was great. Okay, I love my new career. I work from my bed. So this week, I had to really prepare, so I was in bed like 3 days, just doing my job. It was great. Can you think of any other jobs you can do from your bed? Well, I said I would starve, so I can't do that. The only problem is, and I do sleep late. All my friends know, Cindy, you can't call me till when? 10. At least 10 o'clock. Judge Locallo, how am I saying it right? Locallo? Did you know that rule?
No.
He called at 5:15 one morning, and I freaked out, and then I found out he was already at work. He didn't think anything of it. So, but I do like to sleep late. I like to be in my bed, and so this is a great job for me. The only problem is I am a little nervous with the lights because I do get hot flashes. I am 60. I'm still getting these goofy hot flashes. Now, I'm on antidepressants for the hot flashes. So, I still get hot flashes, but I'm not that depressed about it anymore. I also have a couple things handy. If I need, I have a fan. I also have my favorite little gimmick. It's called a cleavage cooler. That is actually the name of it. You keep it in your freezer. It looks like this. It gets hard. It's got an insulated pack if you're going golfing. And if you get hot, demonstration. There we go. Now, my friend thinks it should be called a titsicle. Now, I don't know how that segue was going to go to gifts. Oh, yes, I do know. I do know. My husband brought me a very nice gift from Las Vegas. I'm being facetious because he bought me a magnet. Not only did he bring me a magnet, here's what the magnet said. The magnet said, "Hot flashes are God's way of preparing you for hell." This is what he gives me. I go, what the? What? I said, you just told me I was going to hell. He's like, no, that's not why I got it. I still don't know why I got it, but it's not a great gift. So talking about gifts, we have a friend who was lucky enough to go to Camp David, and he brought us home some souvenirs. So he brought me home this golf shirt, and he bought my husband a windbreaker, and on this golf shirt you can see the presidential seal, okay? Presidential seal. So then you look just to see where it was made. made in Peru. The windbreaker was made in Vietnam. So we decided these things must be left over from the Bush administration. However, he did get another gift, which were golf balls, and they had the presidential seal. He thinks these are from the Obama administration because they always go left. So a lot of you are here just to see me bash my husband, right? Okay, so he is a very good sport.
There's way too many people clapping.
That's my husband. You want to stand up so everyone knows? There's my husband. Hi. I also wanted to introduce my son. He's the videographer, my son Elliot, and my beautiful daughter Ronnie, right here. Now, my son is my videographer, mainly because my husband tried to video one of my shows, and when I got home and looked at it, it was 30 minutes of the back of a bald guy's head. That's all you could see. You could see like a little bit of my hair because it was poofy, you know. So I fired him and I hired my son. Now, we have plenty of lawyers in my family. My dad was a lawyer. Raise your hand if you knew my dad. Few people. Okay, good. My dad was the funniest person I know, so I dedicate all my shows to him. My husband is a lawyer, and now he's a judge. And my son is a lawyer. So we have so many lawyers. We were so excited. We finally got somebody in the medical field. My daughter is a nurse. And everybody in the family comes up to her and goes, "What do you think about this rash? Do you think this is infected? What's with my big toe?" Ronnie always has the perfect answer. Go to the doctor. Go see the doctor. Because you don't want her to work on you. She's a surgical nurse. So without an anesthesiologist, I don't think she would help you. You know, my mother used to always go to the doctors, and she would bring lists she would read the newspapers and magazines and bring the doctors all of these articles about different drugs. And, you know, it doesn't make it easy when it says, you know, ask your doctor about the purple pill. Well, you don't even know what the purple pill is, but my mother asked her doctor. So she's asking about all these things. Turns out one of them, the doctor said, "Mrs. Warman, that's for impotence. I don't think you need that one." She would bring any kind of articles. Now, I guess, the other thing I wanted to talk about is Hi's big toe, because he does have this big toe that Ronnie has examined on occasion. He actually showed it to me on one of our first dates. I can't believe I married him after that. Okay, so what's done is done. But he goes.
Not necessarily.
I'll get to that later. So he goes up to the orthopedic man at the golf course, the doctor there, and he says, "You know, maybe I should come in and show you my toe." And the doctor goes, "No, show me now. That's okay." He's like, "No." He's like, "No, really. I've seen everything. I've seen all kinds of things. Don't, show me your toe." He takes off his shoes and socks. The guy goes, "Whoa!" This is the orthopedic guy. Never saw anything like that. So Jerry, you'll tell us later what it really looks like. There's really no segue other than I was talking about my daughter who was a nurse, and this year for Hanukkah she asked for a watch. And so everybody was going to save up and we were going to buy her favorite watch. Well, the Hanukkah party came and we still hadn't bought her the watch. So my husband says, "Let's call right now." You know, she had seen it at Nordstrom's downtown. So my husband calls Nordstrom's and he says, "This is the watch we need for our daughter. Do you have it?" They say yes. All four of us, God knows why, but all four of us go there to get this watch for her because we wanted to give it to her. So we go into Nordstrom's, and we were in 3 separate cars, so we got there at different times. What's wrong?
No, your Band-Aid's falling.
My Band-Aid's falling off. Oh, that's a funny story, too. All right, I'll do a segue there. I got my hair cut today, and I had one long hair sticking out that she missed. So instead of taking a tweezers, I take a scissors, and I cut my neck. It was really stupid. And the reason why it's so stupid is our family, from my mother-in-law, is always be careful doing this, be careful doing that. So when you do something stupid, you feel even worse. Okay, I shouldn't put that in the end, but it was a bad day. It was coming up. So we're at Nordstrom's, and we go in, and first I think Hi and Ronnie got there, and they asked for the watch, and who did you talk to? My husband's like, I don't remember. It was something like Sherry or Sari or Barry or Larry or he couldn't remember. They're looking everywhere. They cannot find the watch. We're getting upset. All four of us keep asking, are you sure? Are you sure? We're all getting down on this one guy. And all of a sudden I say to Hi, are you sure you called Nordstrom's? No, he had called Bloomingdale. So we're harassing this poor guy at Nordstrom. You never saw the four people slink out of there so quick. When they got to Bloomingdale's, they had the watch sitting there. Okay. There are a lot of distinguished judges here. I know when you go to a political event, you introduce them all, but I don't think I'm going to do that. But I want to thank all of you for coming. Between the lawyers here and the judges here, don't anybody do anything illegal. And I explained to Jeff Bennett, heckling is illegal in this state of Illinois. Okay, here's what I've learned being the daughter, the mother, and the wife of a lawyer. They make up words that make it sound fancier than it is, okay? A lawyer, they call it an attorney. Sounds better than a lawyer, sounds more honorable, more reputable. They say, my chambers, come into my chambers, the judges say. Really, it's just an office, but you know, it sounds fancier if it's a chambers. They also talk in code. Anytime I've ever been in court, I stand there with my lawyer, which is usually my father, my husband, or my son, and they stipulate to the facts. And all that means is, yeah, she did it, but it's my mother, it's my wife, it's my daughter, whatever. And they usually give you a break. So I hope I didn't give away too many secrets there. They also say make full restitution. That just means pay, right? Just pay the money. Wage garnishment. You know, you think of garnish, but no, it just means they take the money out of your check. Briefs, you know briefs, those are instead of boxers. A subpoena is just a pina that's below average. Ex parte, that's just going to a party where your ex is going to be. It's hard to figure out their tricks. Tort, that's what I order for dessert. Voir dire, I think that's what Judge Levinson says when he sees a deer. Voir dire. And this is my favorite one, aggravated DUI. That's when a drunk guy calls in the middle of the night, because it's very aggravating. That happened many times. Okay, a quick segue to my Chandler's Notebook, which should be here. I have a Chandler's Notebook from 1969. Yay, good year, good year. All my information, where I was, where doctors, what I was wearing, if I got gas, I just have everything down here. And I mean gas for my car. I don't gas, that would be weird. Okay, so you think it's weird that I have this, but think about this. What if somebody comes up to you and says, where were you on June 20th, 1969? Are you going to have an alibi? I'm going to have an alibi, so something else I learned from living with lawyers. Okay, now my husband is a judge now. All day long he listens and he makes decisions. And then he comes home and he doesn't listen and he doesn't make any decisions. Now he thinks he's really funny. Okay, so he comes home, we debate the percentage of times he's really funny. You know, he thinks he's funny 90% of the time, I think he's funny 30% of the time, so we average it out. But he, 12 years of being on the bench, he doesn't understand. He's funny because the sheriff with the gun is in the court. And he's telling the jokes. So he does think he's funny, and he has come up with some funny things. The chief judge at the time, Judge Urso, was having some heart issues and some pain. So my husband took him to the hospital and said to the nurses, now sometimes he thinks he's a judge. Bear with him. And then he leaves. He did say that. He also had a guy that worked for the cable company come to his courtroom. And the guy had to come back the next month, and he says, okay, you'll return the next month on January 20th. And the guy says, well, what time? And Hy says, sometime between 10 and 2. I have another funny story. Matt Fakuri here was a prosecutor for my husband, and he came specifically to hear me bash my husband. So I thought I would tell a story that was interesting that happened to him. He had a case where, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this isn't my story, this is Hi and Matt's story, but he had a case where the defendant was Arab, the defense attorney was Jewish, the prosecutor was Matt, who was of Arab descent,
Right.
and my husband was the judge, and he's Jewish, okay?
How's everybody looking at me now?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna get attacked or something.
No, you got lots of protection, and we love you, Matt, we love you. And you speak Arabic, correct?
I do.
So the funny part of this story is they had a translator for the defendant. And the translator is translating, and Matt realizes he's not translating right. And he says, that's not right. So that was good that you, and it was a very fair trial. But it probably won't make my next act. I only did it because you're here. I wanted you to feel welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have lots of funny testimony. There was another judge who told me the story about a fella who robbed the pharmacy that he worked in. So he works there every day, but then on his day off, he comes to rob them, okay? So now he's in court, and they're testifying, and they're doing, you can tell I don't speak like a lawyer, but they're doing whatever they do, and the guy, and the guy gets up and he says, "They couldn't have known it was me. I was wearing a mask." That was really dumb. Okay. Then you've got some funny stories that happen with other people that work at the court, not the judges, not the lawyers, but some of the secretaries. We won't mention any names, but there was a secretary that my husband had. He was going out of town. So he said, whatever your name is, we'll just make up a name. He said, "Mary, my computer has a virus. Could you have it taken care of while I am away for vacation?" So when he came back, there was a message on his machine, and it went, "Judge Riebman, I called the county health department about your computer virus, and they didn't know what I was talking about." Now, when you're a judge, you would think that you would respect authority. So I have a story to prove that that's not always true. My husband was a Little League coach, and he got kicked out of one of Ronnie's softball games because he happened to mention to the ref, I think he gave him a business card and said, "This is for my eye doctor."
Umpire.
Oh, the umpire, ref, you're right. Says blew that joke. Okay. Said to the umpire, "You need an eye doctor. Here's my eye doctor card." Okay. So the guy threw him out of the game. You know, these are 12-year-old refs, by the way. They're not, you know. So to get kicked out of a game there, you can see how well he respected authority on that one. Skip that. I'm going to do it later when Ed is here. Okay. Okay. You can plan ahead for a kidney transplant. My husband had his first kidney transplant, and he got to plan ahead because it was his mother that gave him the kidney. His second kidney transplant, he just so happened, he was working, he was covering for Judge Etchingham, who was at the hospital with his dad, and he's about ready to go to lunch, and he sees that he's got a message. So he listens to the message, Northwestern has a kidney for him. They leave a friggin' message, okay? If he had gone to work, if he had gone to lunch without listening to his messages, that wouldn't have worked out very well. But he listened to it, he picked up me, he picked up my son, my daughter, we all go down to Northwestern, and I see Judge Etchingham. And I say, "Oh, Judge Etchingham, what are you doing here?" And he says, my dad's having surgery. He says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, Hi's getting a kidney." He says, "Who's covering my court call?" That's what he was worried about. So we have very good judges here in Cook County. I'll segue that. He's a very good judge, but after lunch, when he has a big lunch, he's sitting on the bench, and he's like, when you do this, and you keep waking yourself up, you're falling asleep, you keep waking yourself up. One of the attorneys yells, "Objection!" really loud. So Hi wakes up and he goes, "What do you say after objection?"
What's the basis?
"What's the basis?" And they go, "Never mind. The basis was to wake you up, okay? That was the basis." But he's doing very well now, thank God. But, you know, he does have his faults. He snores, as many of you probably have husbands or wives that snore. And what he does is so funny, because he'll snore like this. He'll go... And then he like wakes himself up and looks around at me like I did something. I'm like, you woke yourself up. That wasn't me. Or I'll get out of bed because I have insomnia sometimes, and I'll leave, and he's in the bed, and he's always like trying to feel if I'm there, which is fine if I'm not there. But when I'm there, he like smacks me. I'm like, what? I'm sleeping. He's smacking me in the head. He's also on some different medications. Dr. Lewis, you can go through them for us later. But one of them must cause nightmares, because he's always waking up scared. And when I pry and I say, well, what's scaring you? Why are you so scared? It's usually somebody's trying to kill me in his dream. So I don't know. There's something subconscious there. Alan, would you know? I don't know. But you know, we have a really good marriage, thank goodness. And some of my friends have great marriages too, but they sleep in different beds. And I said to my girlfriend, why do you sleep in a different bed? And she, you know, getting a little personal, I think maybe she was offering the information, but I said, is it because he snores? No. Is it because he's got one of those sleep apnea machines? No. Well, is it restless leg syndrome? No, I can't stand his breathing. Okay. I'm like, you can't stand his breathing. Hasn't he been doing that for the past 30 years? We used to, when we raised our kids, we were in Buffalo Grove, and we used to sit out on the driveway, and the kids would play on the front lawn, and there were 3 or 4 of us, and we, you know, what are we ordering in for dinner? You know, big decisions. And there was this woman across the street. Swear to God, we're sitting here watching our kids play. She is mowing her lawn, trimming her hedges, washing her car. We say, Linda, come over here. Come sit down and relax for a minute. No, I'm hanging wallpaper. I'm making dinner. I'm sewing a new dress for my daughter. I'm like, what do we hear later? Her husband leaves her. I'm like, is he nuts? If I was gay, I would marry her. Now, I could never divorce Hy. This is the problem. I mean, it was not the problem. That was a mistake. After wedding, but not the way I was saying it. No, I could never divorce him because he's friends with all the divorce attorneys, all the divorce lawyers. I'm probably better off getting a divorce lawyer that doesn't like Hy than a